Well, I think from all levels, it's giving. So whether you are giving attention or your time or husband and wife physically together, or I think in every way it's you giving out to somebody else, and similarly somebody giving to you. So it's a sort of wonderful connection at whatever level.
So sometimes there's a person we don't get on with, or someone who's crossed us badly, stepped on our toes, and feeling mightn't be there, but the actions and the attitude and the respect needs to be there.
Mm-hmm. Wow, I think it's a really hard question. Love, I think to me, is putting other people before yourself and thinking what would make them happy, regardless of what it does to you.
Right.
Loving people. Who do you love? Mummy. Who else do you love? Who else do you love?
Me.
Your sister? Anybody else? What does love mean to you, Emma?
Love means when you really like someone and you like love them and you give them cuddles sometimes to show them you love them.
So love to me means patience and forgiveness and loving people unconditionally, no matter what they've done. It's very special. You love each person differently, I think. I think love's quite unique depending on which person it is. And I love my children lots. And I love my family lots.
I know one.
Go on, what's love to you?
We love everything we like.
You love everything that you like. What do you like the most? What do you love the most?
Teddy.
Your teddy. You love your teddy the most.
Yeah.
Well done. Anything else, Emma? What does love mean to you?
Love means to me when, like family, you most of the time love your family.
Most of the time you love your family. Are there times when you don't love your family?
When you go out, you don't love them, but I wouldn't say you don't love them, you just don't love them 100%.
Okay. Good.
Mummy,
Well done.
I got one more.
Go on then, one more.
Love for helping.
You love helping people. Does that make you feel good inside? You love helping people. Good answer. Good boy.
Well, for me, I'm just a sucker for love. Truthfully, I just love really easily, probably too easily. Yeah, but for me, love for me is family, friends, God, of course, Jesus's love for us. And I think, yeah, without sounding like super, Christian as such, yeah, I just think God is love. And I always just remind myself of that, particularly in the dark times or the tough times. I think love is just showing love to people when they're in difficult times as well. But yeah, again, I'm a sucker for love. I love things like cats. We have a cat, it's a neighbour's cat that comes to the door. And when I stroke Holly, I'm just filled with love. Also, when I eat one of John's chocolate bars, I'm filled with love again.
I think one of the most difficult things, thinking about love and hurt, is when that hurt can't be resolved, when there can't be agreement, when there's a different how you kind of hold that pain and that difficulty without it destroying you. We don't have to say this is okay. how we've been treated, or that this is all right. We're not
Yeah.
saying that. What we're saying is
Yeah.
love is bigger than all of those things, and
Yeah.
it's there to transform us
Definitely.
and the world around us. But we're
Yeah.
not responsible for it being resolved. You know, we can
No, exactly. The resounding answer every time was love. You know, pray for these people, love these people. You know, you might have gone through tough times and you might have had to take it to another level, you know, internally, etc. But ultimately, God, Jesus, it's love, and love kind of wins, I think, every time. But it's so difficult, you know, some of these people, albeit they are Christian, I'm like, it's so hard to love them. But it's a command from God. And I think that God gives us these commands to help us. I think sometimes we want to almost refuse them because it seems so difficult and almost unbelievable. Like, why would you tell me to love these people? But actually, I've realized in the past few weeks that choosing to love and pray for and ask for blessing upon these people has actually started to really release me. So I think that when you're in the difficult times and loving people isn't easy, I think the answer is to love them, as difficult as it might be. Yeah, I was just going to say, like, totally, you know, I think as humans and as Christians, we can do everything that we possibly can to try to make amends, or to even try to, you know, talk through a conversation that's hard. But I think that's showing love as well. I don't think love is always shiny and easy. Sometimes love is tough and you have to have those tough conversations, but it actually resolves situations in the long run. And sometimes it doesn't resolve them. And sometimes you just have to agree to disagree, as you were saying. But I think that I've realized that God has seen everything. You know, God sees absolutely everything. I think, well, I always used to think that I had to be a perfect Christian and do everything to receive God's love. And now I know that's not how God works. And I think as well, you know, we need to be kind to ourselves and loving to ourselves. I lived with guilt and, you know, shame almost for years, even as a Christian, thinking, oh, what did I do? And what do I keep doing? And I think, you know, we recognize it a bit more now about self-love and kind of knowing that God loves us and we can love ourselves too, stop beating ourselves up. So that's something that I've been learning in more recent years.
There's 3 points. A strong positive emotion, that's number one. Number two, putting the physical, mental and spiritual welfare of others before yourself. But you need to love yourself and have self-worth too. And a warm, caring heart.
To me, love is putting the needs of others before your own. And I've always thought that was what Jesus did, always put the needs of others before your own.
I've written down, it's unconditional caring as a parent loves a child, not seeing negatives and remembering the love of God.
Right, what is love? I've been thinking about this, and a strange connection. Kevin and I have been playing table tennis. So the score is love 1, love 2, love 3. And the word love, I thought, why do we use the word love? And it comes from luth, egg-shaped for 0. And I've looked up the heart shape. Where did hearts come from? Why is heart connected to love? And goes back to about the 15th century. So what is love? It's a huge, huge question. And the heart connection, I think, is very important, because without your heart, you would die. And it's love, being connected to the heart, means without love, we would die. And love is what makes life. Feeling love, receiving love, God's love. It's just really what makes humanity work. Because people that you love, you often don't like for one reason or another, or they do things that you don't like. So, love being universal and unconditional. I've done a lot of work on unconditional positive regard for people through counselling. When you meet somebody that you don't know, but what you do know about them might be quite abhorrent to you. And what you need to be able to do is separate the person from that and not reveal to anybody any sense of not loving them, not positively regarding them. And that training, for me, has been very helpful, to view people and not judge them.
Is your faith that inspiration? Is that part of where it's come from?
And the two grew together, really. And I found the kind of counselling I do is person-centred. It's Carl Rogers' theories of self. And the two sort of just went together. There was nothing in the counselling principles that argued with Christianity at all. So it wasn't a struggle to do both together.
Okay, so what is love? For me, love is, in a word, accommodation. Accommodation means giving space to, enabling that other person to have that chance to be part, not having it all my own way. And accommodation can mean many things. In biblical terms, it's kenosis, an opening up, a self-emptying to enable, and the Bible speaks of Jesus self-emptying in order to become human. And that is the ultimate sense of love, that ultimate movement of love. And in whatever I do, where I enable others, where I open myself up to others, accommodate them, then that is me showing love.
Thank you.
Yeah, yes, I think of love as a warm feeling, knowing that you're secure and somebody treasures you, even when you're feeling impatient and a bit angry or unwell. And equally, we are so blessed when we love others and encourage others. Somehow it's a blessing that comes back to us.
I was trying to remember when I started my studies, we were told of the Greek words for love, and I can remember two of them, but not the third, which in some ways it was a good thing having more than one word, because it means so many different things. You know, I love to do that, I love that, or I love you. That it's so different.
Do you think there's an element of love that's irrational?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's why people put themselves in danger for the sake of somebody else or something, because common sense would say you shouldn't go there, you shouldn't do that.
And I particularly think of the quote from, I think it's 1 John, where he says God is love, and I was thinking that, well, no, God is love. God is the expression of love. And I was thinking, well, what would happen if there were no people? You know, worst case scenario. But you know, would God still be there? I think, well, God would still be there, but there'd be nobody to love and nobody to be loved. But so, in one sense, you can say, when you say God is love, God could exist without humanity, as it were. But love depends, I think, on humanity. So we need that that connection with one another. You know, that sort of love is the thing that motivates us, joins us together. It's I think there's thinking about it, there's that quote that perfect love casts out all fear, and it's almost sort of fear and love are opposites. They're two sort of driving forces in behaviours. You either behave one way because you're afraid about what might happen if you don't, or you behave some way as an act of love, you know, in the positive way. You know, that's sort of, and for me, that's what love really is. It's when it's one of the things that drives our behaviours towards one another in a positive way, not from fear of what would happen if you don't, that kind of thing.
Any tips thinking about how it is to love when it's hard?
You know, I just, when you were saying that, I just thought, well, actually, the ultimate act of that was God sending Jesus. I mean, that's tough love, isn't it? You send the person that you probably love more than anybody, your own son. I know Jesus was God, but you know, to sort of send him into the world as an act of love for humanity, for each and every one of us. That's tough love, surely. You know, to make that sacrifice. That's probably the ultimate show of love. in God demonstrating what love's about.
And it's been wonderful. The response of the village has been absolutely wonderful to this, with everybody helping and the Thorn of Care and people getting shopping and prescriptions filled. And it's just been amazing. The young people have been amazing. And I feel proud to be involved in the village. It's just been wonderful. It really has. The care has been excellent from everybody.
I found this very difficult, actually. But again, I've written it down, and I wrote, by following the guidelines. And first of all, I thought, well, first, God's guidelines, the 10 Commandments. And I went through those. I thought, yeah, I don't usually break those anyway. Then, you know, the staying indoors, the social distancing being, yeah, I've been doing all that. I've been keeping in touch with phone, email, birthday cards and Skype, just trying to, you know, keep people in touch with each other, with me, with life, etc. And, you know, I've been taking the notice sheet round to those that haven't got email, trying to keep those involved. So basically trying to keep the community in touch with each other is how I've been trying to show love.
And in this COVID-19 situation, there's been a number of things that we've done. I mean, primarily YDAN would be a huge example of an opening up and accommodating, doing whatever we can to enable the YDAN guests to feel safe and to be fed and secure. But at the same time, there's Your Skulls, which I helped set up, which is to enable people who are feeling unsafe, insecure in their homes. They perhaps can't have their food delivered, or they're struggling with getting prescriptions, or they're just feeling concerned and they need a phone call. And showing love, accommodation, is about sharing that and doing those things that enable those people to feel safe, perhaps making myself feel a little less safe, going to the shops, putting myself out in order that they might feel safe and accommodated.
Over the internet, and we can worship in our own homes, and God is with us wherever we are.
Sending people letters and sending them books.
Helping them with one book.
You read a book, didn't you, to your new cousins? You read a book to them over Skype, didn't you? To show them that you were missing them and that you loved them. You read them a story.
Yeah.
And you've been writing letters and sending presents to people in the post. What did you send to your cousin Isaac?
It was like me, but it was massive arms, and he could wrap them around him.
To give himself a hug, so he could have a big Emma hug.
Yeah.
And what's Mummy been doing? Where have I been going and taking food?
She's been going to the shops and taking food to people on the street and like Nana.
And then also to complete strangers, as I've been delivering food and meals and money to people at the YDAN shelter. Lots of very happy guests. They remembered some of our food and our cooks, so we've certainly got a reputation of providing good food. I think the guests themselves are finding it hard. They're obviously just as cooped up as we all are, and they don't know each other. It's not like they're with family.
Well, I hope a lot of phoning of people, keeping friendships going, and just feeling that, you know, we are so fortunate to know God's love. So it's very possible for us, hopefully it's possible for us to show that to other people.
Now, the other question about the coronavirus thing, honest, Bob, I've been quite busy with my day job, as it were, and I've not really managed to get involved with any of the coronavirus, you know, and these things about helping other people. And I do the thing on a Thursday night, but lots and lots of people do that. You know, they don't have to be involved with the church, where you go out and you show your appreciation. to the care workers and all the rest who are helping us in this time of crisis. But, and there's a part of me thinks I should be doing more than this, but it's just busyness of life, really.
We had a discussion before recording about how busy some people are.
And
actually, you know, it takes longer to do everything, and keeping the council going, keeping that communication going is just another way of serving, isn't it? It's another way of...
Well, it is, yeah. I suppose when you think about it, the people that we stand out on the streets and do the applause for, they're probably not, you know, they're probably too busy doing those roles to get involved in, you know, delivering food parcels or any of those kind of things. But that doesn't mean to say that they're not doing anything. We stand out and applaud them because of what they're doing. It's just that, you know, they're the ones who are in the front line, as it were. And then the rest of us hopefully can give support and show love in other ways.
And it's just been nice having conversations that, you know, normally they would be kind of reserved for a Sunday in the church itself. And it's actually just nice to pick up the phone and call a number of people and just have a chat, you know, midweek, checking on them. And they've been lovely and saying, how are you, Lucy? I'm fine. I'm actually quite enjoying it. And also, yeah, VE Day, we had with our neighbours, social distancing, fish and chips and bunting out. And that was lovely. And it could have happened because we had VE Day anyway to come. But I think we probably made more of an effort. And, you know, some of our elderly neighbours, they were there, and I think they were actually maybe alive during VE Day, but very young. So it was really special. And we said afterwards, you know, we want to carry on doing this, kind of having garden parties afterwards.
What have I been doing to show love during the coronavirus? Well, I think my husband might call it nagging, because he said, oh, I'll just go here or go there, and I'm saying, you can't, you know, you really can't for health reasons. And if we can't go to the shops, why do you think we can do that? So that's nagging. But there's all sorts of things. I suppose it's thinking about friends who are on their own, even if they're not self-isolating. So telephoning people and catching up with them or sending a text. It's just the little things, really, nothing major.
I think it's great that you've put nagging down as an act of love. But I think there is something about, you know, the kind of discipline and self-sacrifice of just staying in is actually an act of love for everybody, isn't it? I mean,
well, it is,
Leslie, ringing people, particularly those on their own, and listening, providing a shoulder for them to talk to you, and have a visual hug, if you like, on the Zoom, just being there if someone needs a shoulder.
With one or two neighbours, I've discovered that they like reading a ladies' magazine that I have as well. So I've sent off, just put through their letterbox or left on the front door, the ones that I've read and sharing that. And occasionally I've baked, and so there's only Jeffrey and I. We can't possibly eat a whole cake together. So we've shared that cake out and things like that. And yeah, keeping in contact with people. We've treasured little letters and messages from our family, and likewise we send them to other people. So yeah, expressing love in that way.
How am I showing love during the coronavirus? Well, I'm going to work still, which in some ways is very lucky for me. And I think it's I feel fortunate that I can, as a doctor, care for people and look after them and have a role in helping people with coronavirus. And I'm also involved in the Thorna Cares network, helping people in our village pick things up or connect with people and chatting with people who might not be able to get out. And I can't think of anything else, Bob.
You're looking after children. That makes you a hero.
And not shouting at my children that much, but yeah.
You know,